Origins of the Illuminati. Chapter 1. The Age of Enlightenment and the Birth of Secret Societies. Europe in the 18th Century. Political and religious tensions. The 18th century was a time of great transformation. Monarchies dominated Europe, often ruling with absolute power. The Catholic Church maintained strong influence over education, law, and moral life. Yet, beneath the surface, a cultural revolution was taking shape, the Enlightenment. This period championed reason, science, and individual rights, challenging centuries-old dogmas. Philosophers like Voltaire, Rousseau, Locke, and Montesquieu argue for freedom of thought, separation of church and state, and democratic ideals. However, these ideas clashed with the conservative regimes of the day. In Bavaria, a deeply Catholic and monarchist state, such radical thinking was seen as dangerous, even treasonous. It was within this conflict between progress and tradition that the Illuminati was conceived, the rise of Freemasonry and other secret societies. By the early 1700s, Freemasonry had spread across Europe, originating in medieval stonemason guilds. Freemasonry evolved into a fraternal society dedicated to self-improvement, moral development, and charitable work. Its rituals, symbols, and secrecy made it attractive to intellectuals and elites seeking spaces for free discussion away from state and church control. The success of Freemasonry inspired similar secret societies, many of which combined Enlightenment ideals with esoteric traditions. These networks became safe havens for reformers, philosophers, and political radicals who might otherwise face persecution. The intellectual climate that led to Weishaupt's vision. Into this environment stepped Adam Weishaupt, a man who would push the Enlightenment's principles further than most. Born in 1748, Weishaupt grew up in a rigidly Catholic world, yet his education exposed him to the works of rationalist and deist philosophers. He became convinced that organized religion and monarchy oppressed humanity, and that liberation required a new, covert movement. In a world where public dissent could cost one's career or life, secrecy became a tool of survival. Weishaupt saw the success of Freemasonry, but believed it lacked a true revolutionary purpose. His answer was to create a new order, one that would unite intellectuals in a hidden campaign to transform society. Chapter 2. The Founding of the Bavarian Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt. Biography and Philosophical Influences. Adam Weishaupt was a professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt, an institution controlled by the Jesuits. Though raised within Catholic orthodoxy, his exposure to Enlightenment thinkers like Montesquieu and Voltaire and classical Greek philosophy gave him a deep skepticism of religious dogma. Weishaupt envisioned a world where reason triumphed over superstition, and where governments served the people rather than enslaving them. He admired the Stoic ideals of virtue, deistic views of God, and Republican models of governance. Chapter 3. The Fall of the Original Order. Growing fear among the Bavarian monarchy and the Catholic Church. By the early 1780s, the Illuminati's rapid growth alarmed Bavarian authorities. The group had reportedly infiltrated universities, courts, and even high-ranking government positions. To the Catholic Church, this was nothing short of heresy. To the monarchy, it was sedition. The Illuminati's anti-monarchist and anti-clerical agenda made them an easy target for propaganda. Rumors painted them as atheists, revolutionaries, and puppet masters of Freemasonry. The 1785 ban and crackdown. In 1785, Duke Karl Theodor of Bavaria issued an edict banning all secret societies, with special emphasis on Illuminati. Authorities raided meeting places, seized documents, and arrested members. Weishaupt fled Bavaria, living in exile under protection of sympathetic nobles. Many of his followers were imprisoned or forced to renounce their membership. Did the group dissolve or go underground? Officially, the Bavarian Illuminati ceased to exist by 1787. But did it truly die? Some historians argue that the order's networks were absorbed into Masonic lodges across Europe, continuing their work under a new guise. Others believe the Illuminati was completely dismantled. This ambiguity, whether the Illuminati truly ended or went underground, gave rise to 2 centuries of conspiracy theories. Part 2. The Spread of the Legend. Chapter 4. The Illuminati in Europe post-1785. Claims of surviving cells in Germany, France, Italy, and Switzerland. Though the Bavarian Illuminati was officially disbanded in 1785, its reputation didn't vanish. It mutated into legend. Germany. Some reports claim that ex-Illuminati fled Bavaria and joined Masonic lodges in Saxony and Prussia, carrying their ideals with them. France. In pre-revolutionary France, whispers spread that Illuminati cells had infiltrated salons and intellectual circles, sowing revolutionary ideas. Italy and Switzerland. Secret Enlightenment societies, already active in these regions, were alleged to have absorbed remnants of the order. The idea that the Illuminati didn't die, but went underground, became the foundation of every conspiracy theory that followed. Links to the French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars. When the French Revolution, 1789, erupted, many monarchists and conservative commentators looked for a scapegoat. The Illuminati, with their anti-clerical, anti-monarchist philosophy, became an easy target. Writers claimed the revolutionaries' rallying cries for liberty, equality, and fraternity mirrored Illuminati doctrine. Later, Napoleon's meteoric rise and his restructuring of Europe was also framed by conspiracy theorists as part of a wider Illuminati plan to destabilize monarchies. While historians debate whether these connections had any factual basis, the myth grew louder than the truth. Alleged infiltration of Masonic lodges. Freemasonry, already secretive and international, was a perfect host for surviving Illuminati. Abbé Augustin Béraud, a French Jesuit writer, claimed in his famous memoirs that the Illuminati had infected Freemasonry, using it as a recruitment pipeline. Masonic symbols like the all-seeing eye, pyramids, and esoteric rituals became forever linked to Illuminati lore. This blending of Masonic imagery with Illuminati myths created the iconography of modern conspiracy theories, one that endures to this day. Chapter 5. The Illuminati and the New World. Conspiracy fears in the United States, 1790s. In the 1790s, the Illuminati panic crossed the Atlantic. Reverend Jedediah Morse, father of Samuel Morse, the telegraph inventor, delivered fiery sermons in New England warning that the Illuminati had infiltrated America. He claimed they were behind political unrest and aimed to destroy Christianity. The young United States, still forming its identity, became fertile ground for fears of a hidden European cabal influencing its politics. Theories about their role in the founding of America. Some modern theorists claim that founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin were sympathetic to Illuminati ideals, if not outright members. These theories cite Jefferson's writings on secularism and Franklin's ties to Freemasonry as evidence. While there is no direct proof of Illuminati membership, the similarity between Enlightenment ideals and the Illuminati's goals fuels speculation. Symbols on the U.S. dollar bill. Perhaps the most famous evidence of Illuminati influence in America is the Great Seal on the back of the $1 bill. The all-seeing eye, often interpreted as a symbol of divine oversight or Enlightenment wisdom. The unfinished pyramid, signify a nation still being built, though conspiracy theorists claim it represents the Illuminati hierarchy. While these symbols predate modern Illuminati theories, their visual mystique makes them central to the legend. Chapter 6. Early 19th century Illuminati theories. The writings of Abbé Béraud. Abbé Augustin de Béraud, in his multi-volume work Memoirs Illustrating the History of Jacobinism, 1797 to 1799, cemented the Illuminati's place in conspiracy lore. Béraud blamed the French Revolution on a network of Illuminati and Freemasons, painting them as orchestrators of Europe's chaos. His writings became hugely influential, particularly among conservative elites and clergy across Europe. Rise of the hidden hand narrative. The early 19th century saw the birth of the hidden hand theory, that invisible elites, namely the Illuminati, were orchestrating global revolutions, wars, and economic crises for their gain. This idea resurfaced again and again, influencing later conspiracy theories about bankers, royal families, and political organizations. By the mid-1800s, the Illuminati had transcended its Bavarian roots to become a universal symbol of shadowy power, allegedly pulling the strings of world events. The legend outgrows the reality. By this point, the real Illuminati, a small Enlightenment-era reformist group, had been completely overshadowed by myth. What remained was an idea, that somewhere an invisible order of enlightened elites was manipulating the fate of nations. This belief would continue to morph and grow, influencing 20th century theories about everything from the world wars to the United Nations. Part 3. Modern Illuminati Conspiracy Theories. Chapter 7. The Illuminati and the New World Order. Origin of the New World Order phrase. The term New World Order, NWO, has become synonymous with modern Illuminati conspiracies. First usage. It appeared in political discourse as early as the 20th century, often referring to post-war restructuring. Key moment. In 1990, U.S. President George H.W. Bush used the term while discussing a global system of cooperation after the Cold War, a statement that conspiracy theorists quickly interpreted as Illuminati code. Interpretation by conspiracists. The NWO is framed as Illuminati's endgame, a one-world government, dissolving national sovereignty under elite control. Theories about one-world government and global control. Conspiracy theories claim that the Illuminati are working to centralize power, creating a global government led by elites. Control finance, manipulating world economies through organizations like the IMF, World Bank, and central banks. Sense of dissent, using media and technology to control information. Reduce population through wars, pandemics, or covert social engineering. For believers, events like economic collapses, pandemics, and global conflicts are not random. They're steps toward this new world order. Chapter 8. Countries where Illuminati are believed to operate. United States. Federal Reserve, Hollywood, and music industry. Federal Reserve. Often accused of being controlled by Illuminati bankers, secretly directing U.S. and global monetary policy. Hollywood. Alleged as a propaganda arm, using films, award shows, and music videos to normalize Illuminati symbols, the all-seeing eye, pyramids. Music industry. Stars like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Madonna, Kanye West, and Rihanna are often accused of being the Illuminati puppets, their performances full of occult imagery. United Kingdom. British monarchy and political elites. The British royal family is frequently named in Illuminati theories, alleged to be part of an ancient bloodline network of power. London's banking hub is often portrayed as a financial command center of the group. France. From revolution to modern politics. The Illuminati are linked to the French Revolution, accused of using it as a blueprint for overthrowing monarchies. In modern times, French political elites are often portrayed as key players in the EU-linked Illuminati agenda. Germany. Illuminati's birthplace and EU influence. Germany remains central to conspiracy theories as Illuminati's birthplace. The EU's headquarters in Brussels and Germany's dominant role in European politics are often cited as evidence of a covert plan for centralized European control. Switzerland, banking secrecy and neutrality. Switzerland's neutral stance and powerful private banking system make it a frequent target of conspiracies as a supposed safe haven for Illuminati wealth. Some even claim the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, in Basel is the group's financial nerve center. Vatican City. Church versus secret society conflicts. The Illuminati are often depicted as enemies of the Catholic Church, seeking to undermine its influence. Theories about infiltration of the Vatican have fueled fears of hidden alliances between church leaders and secret orders. Middle East. Oil and geopolitics. Illuminati theories often portray Middle Eastern conflicts as orchestrated events to control global oil markets. Wars in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan are sometimes interpreted as part of the NWO's resource grab strategy. Global networks. UN, IMF, and international corporations. The United Nations, World Health Organization, IMF, and World Bank are portrayed as tools of a global Illuminati agenda, working toward world governance. Multinational corporations are also accused of being fronts for elite control of food, medicine, and technology. Chapter 9. High-profile alleged members. Political leaders, past and present. Theories name figures, such as U.S. Presidents George H.W. Bush, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. British Prime Ministers Winston Churchill, Tony Blair. European leaders Angela Merkel, Emmanuel Macron. These leaders are alleged to be either members or puppets advancing Illuminati goals. Business tycoons and financiers. Families like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are central to Illuminati theories, accused of controlling global banking and energy markets. Modern tech billionaires, like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, are sometimes claimed to be part of an elite circle guiding technological change. Celebrities in music, film, and fashion. Pop culture icons are often painted as Illuminati pawns, using their reach to influence youth. Symbolic hand gestures, like the triangle hand sign, occult imagery in music videos, and ritual-like performances, e.g. at the Super Bowl, are cited as evidence. Why these allegations persist. Pattern recognition. Conspiracists connect unrelated events into a single narrative. Distrust of elites. Political scandals and corporate corruption make such theories believable to many. Cultural fascination. The mix of mystery, power, and celebrity keeps the narrative alive. Part 4. Symbols, Rituals, and Alleged Practices. Chapter 10. Iconography of Illuminati. The All-Seeing Eye and Its Interpretations. Historical Roots. The All-Seeing Eye, Eye of Providence, originates in Christian iconography and was used to symbolize divine watchfulness. Illuminati interpretation. Conspiracy theorists claim it represents surveillance by a hidden elite, a constant gaze over humanity. Modern usage. Seen on the U.S. dollar bill, in corporate logos, and in popular culture, movies, music videos, art, fueling speculation of Illuminati influence. Pyramids. Power and hierarchy. Unfinished pyramid. Symbolizes incomplete global control, topped by the all-seeing eye as the pinnacle of power. Masonic overlap. Critics claim the pyramid imagery links Illuminati with Freemasonry. Pop culture use. Frequently used in album covers, movies, and event stages, e.g. Super Bowl halftime shows. Owls. Symbol of wisdom. Origins. In mythology, the owl, Minerva's owl, represents wisdom and secret knowledge. Illuminati connection. Often linked to Bohemian Grove, a real-life gathering of elites, where an owl statue is central to ceremonies, fueling claims of occult ties. Pentagrams and occult imagery. Occult associations. Pentagrams, hexagrams, and esoteric symbols appear in conspiracy material tied to the Illuminati. Stage performances. Artists accused of Illuminati ties often incorporate these symbols, whether intentionally or for shock value. Chapter 11. Rituals and Structures. Alleged secret initiation rites. Weishaupt's era. Members reportedly swore oaths of secrecy and engaged in symbolic rituals during initiation. Modern conspiracy theories suggest elaborate, occult-style rites, often drawing from Masonic traditions, Egyptian mythology, and satanic imagery, though no historical proof exists. High-profile rumors. Whistleblowers and insiders have described ceremonies involving symbolic rebirth, mock sacrifices, and pledges of loyalty. Levels of membership and coded communication. Original Illuminati structure. Novices, basic recruits. Minervals, enlightened members. Illuminated minervals, elite decision-makers. Aliases. Members use code names. Weishaupt was Spartacus, creating layers of anonymity. Modern claims. Conspiracists argue that today's Illuminati still use compartmentalized cells, encryption, and covert signals to communicate. Chapter 12. Cultural infiltration. Theories about media manipulation. Hollywood as a tool. Believers argue the film industry spreads Illuminati propaganda, conditioning audiences for a new world order. Music industry control. Claims that music videos contain subliminal messaging, exposing audiences to Illuminati symbolism. News media. Alleged as being owned or influenced by elites to shape public opinion. Influence on education. Theories suggest that academic institutions promote a secular, globalist ideology aligned with Illuminati goals. This narrative frames schools and universities as indoctrination centers for future generations. Symbolism in movies, music videos, and public events. Stage designs. Super Bowl performances, award ceremonies, and global summits often feature triangular stages, eyes, and occult imagery, interpreted as ritualistic displays. Films and shows. Movies like Eyes Wide Shut, National Treasure, and even children's media are cited as examples of symbolic conditioning. Public events. Large-scale spectacles, e.g. Olympics opening ceremonies, are often interpreted as Illuminati rituals performed in plain sight. Why this matters. Whether these connections are intentional or coincidental, the repeated presence of these symbols fuels a belief that the Illuminati has deep cultural influence, making them a self-perpetuating myth in modern society. Part 5. Debunking and Academic Analysis, 3,000 Words. Chapter 13. Separating Fact from Fiction. What historians say about the Illuminati. Origins grounded in reality. The Bavarian Illuminati existed between 1776 to 1785, founded by Adam Weishaupt to promote Enlightenment ideals. Small in scale. Historians like Dr. Monica Neugebauer-Wilk emphasize that the group had no more than 2,000 members at its peak, mostly intellectuals, students, and some aristocrats. Dissolution. It was banned by the Bavarian state in 1785, and there is no concrete evidence that it survived beyond that. Bottom line. The real Illuminati were an Enlightenment-era reformist society, not a global cabal orchestrating world events. Why conspiracy theories persist? Fear of the unknown. In times of political upheaval or rapid change, people look for hidden causes. Historical scapegoating. After the French Revolution, conservatives blamed Illuminati infiltration to explain the collapse of monarchy and church power. Cultural reinforcement. From Abbe Barrel's 1797 writings to 28th century anti-Masonic literature, the idea of a shadowy elite controlling history became embedded in public imagination. Key takeaway. What began as propaganda against Enlightenment ideals evolved into a catch-all theory used to explain revolutions, wars, and global change. Chapter 14. Psychology of Conspiracy Belief. Why people believe in hidden elites. Pattern recognition. The human brain seeks connections between unrelated events, creating meaning out of chaos. Loss of control. Believing in an all-powerful group can explain misfortune and make the world seem more ordered, even if frightening. Simplifying complexity. Global crises, wars, economic collapses, pandemics are easier to accept if attributed to a single malevolent force rather than random chance or systemic flaws. The comfort of assigning blame. A psychological coping mechanism. It's comforting to think that someone is in charge, even if they're evil, rather than believing events are random, in-group versus out-group dynamics. Conspiracies create a sense of us versus them, the enlightened truth seekers versus the sheep. Community and belonging. Online Illuminati forums, YouTube channels, and social media groups provide a sense of shared mission for believers. Part 6. The Illuminati in Pop Culture, 3,000 Words. Chapter 15. From Dan Brown to Jay-Z. Illuminati depictions in books, movies, and games. Literature. The Illuminatus. Trilogy, 1975. By Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Shea, turned the Illuminati into a countercultural symbol. Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, 2000. Revived the myth for modern audiences. Films. Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. National Treasure, 2004, and The Da Vinci Code, 2006, portray secret societies manipulating history. Video games. Titles like Assassin's Creed feature the Illuminati as shadowy puppet masters behind major world events. Pop culture's role in keeping the myth alive. Celebrities and symbolism. Stars like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Lady Gaga, Kanye West, and Madonna often use eye imagery, pyramids, and occult symbols in their performances. Shock value or strategy. These symbols may be artistic choices or deliberate marketing, but conspiracy theorists interpret them as proof of membership. Music videos and concerts. High-profile performances, e.g. Super Bowl halftime shows, are dissected for Illuminati symbols, reinforcing the myth. Chapter 16. Internet Age and Memes. Social media's role in spreading Illuminati lore. YouTube documentaries and TikTok conspiracy threads reach millions, mixing fact with speculation. Twitter and Reddit amplify theories with viral content, giving them longevity and constant reinvention. Algorithmic push. Platforms recommend conspiracy content, creating echo chambers. Illuminati confirmed as a meme. What started as a mocking internet meme, Illuminati confirmed, ironically helped mainstream conspiracy imagery, making it part of online humor. Meme culture blurs lines between serious belief and parody, ensuring that the Illuminati stays constantly visible in digital spaces. Why the myth survives in the digital era. Instant virality. A single Illuminati symbol spotted. tweet can spark massive speculation. Cross-cultural reach. Memes transcend language barriers, spreading theories worldwide. The fun factor. For many, playing spot the symbol in media is a game, even if they don't truly believe. Key takeaway. Pop culture transformed the Illuminati from a historical footnote into a global entertainment trope, ensuring its survival in the collective imagination. Chapter 17. The Illuminati Today. Is there evidence of a surviving order? The question of whether the Illuminati still exists is the most enduring aspect of the entire myth. Historians, conspiracy theorists, and curious observers all approach this question from different angles, yet no definitive answer has emerged. From the historian's perspective, the Bavarian Illuminati was a short-lived organization. Founded by Adam Weishaupt in 1776 in Ingolstadt, Bavaria, its mission was radical for its time, to challenge the power of monarchies and the Catholic Church, promote Enlightenment values, and create a network of enlightened thinkers who could influence political and cultural structures. However, by 1785, the Bavarian government, under intense pressure from the Church, banned all secret societies and cracked down on the Illuminati. Members were arrested, documents were seized, and Weishaupt himself was exiled. From an academic standpoint, this was the end of the order. But from the conspiracist perspective, this was only the beginning. They argue that the Illuminati did not die. It adapted. According to this theory, surviving members merged into other secretive networks, particularly Freemasonry, which already had a global footprint and provided a perfect cover for their operations. Some modern theorists even claim that the Illuminati infiltrated banking institutions, royal bloodlines, and early revolutionary movements, slowly spreading their influence beyond Bavaria into Europe, America, and eventually the entire world. Evidence for these claims is mostly circumstantial, a combination of overlapping membership between Freemasons and Enlightenment-era intellectuals, symbolism shared between the two groups, like the all-seeing eye and pyramids, and the timing of major historical upheavals that followed the Illuminati's dissolution. But circumstantial evidence is powerful fuel for conspiracy theories, especially when woven into a narrative of secret survival, modern references, and allegations. Today, the Illuminati is no longer just a secretive group from the 18th century. It has become a catch-all term for a hidden elite that allegedly controls world affairs. Proponents of these theories point to economic events, global financial crises, shifts in currency markets, and the power of institutions like the Federal Reserve or the International Monetary Fund (IMF) are interpreted as moves by the Illuminati to manipulate the world economy. Political leadership. Many world leaders, from U.S. presidents to European prime ministers, have been accused of being members or pawns of the Illuminati advancing the so-called New World Order. Cultural influence. Hollywood films, pop music, fashion shows, and even Super Bowl halftime performances are analyzed for Illuminati symbols, with celebrities like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Madonna, and Lady Gaga often accused of being figureheads for the organization. While these claims lack verified evidence, the sheer volume of patterns that conspiracy theorists identify, whether in hand gestures, architectural designs, or political speeches, sustains a narrative that the Illuminati is alive and thriving in modern times. Theories about their role in shaping global events. Theories about the Illuminati's role in global events tend to revolve around a central concept, the New World Order. In this vision, the Illuminati are working to dismantle traditional national sovereignty and establish a single global government controlled by a small elite. This goal, theorists argue, is advanced through several key strategies. Political manipulation, orchestrating revolutions, wars, and regime changes to destabilize regions and create dependency on global institutions. Economic control, using central banks, multinational corporations, and trade agreements to control the flow of wealth and resources. Cultural engineering, employing media, education, and entertainment to normalize their ideology and desensitize the public to symbols of power and submission. Chapter 18. The Enduring Mystery. Why the Illuminati continues to fascinate. Why does the myth of the Illuminati refuse to die? The answer lies in its psychological and cultural appeal. Secrecy sparks imagination. Humans are hardwired to seek patterns and explanations, especially for events that feel too big or chaotic to comprehend. The lack of hard evidence about the Illuminati paradoxically strengthens the myth. As the saying goes, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Pop culture keeps it alive. From Dan Brown's novels to blockbuster films like National Treasure and Eyes Wide Shut, the Illuminati has been romanticized as a shadowy puppet master of history. Musicians like Jay-Z have leaned into the rumors, using triangle hand gestures and eye imagery in their performances, whether as deliberate provocation or marketing strategy. Each reference keeps the narrative alive and relevant for new generations. Distrust of elites makes it believable. In a world where governments are caught in scandals, corporations exploit loopholes, and wars are fought for unclear reasons, it's not difficult for people to believe that an unseen hand is guiding these actions. The Illuminati becomes a symbol for all fears about unaccountable power, whether real or imagined. Could future discoveries confirm or debunk their existence? The mystery of the Illuminati endures partly because it remains unresolved. Could future evidence confirm or debunk the existence of a surviving order? If proven real, discovering hidden archives or credible whistleblowers could radically reshape how we understand history and power. Acknowledging a functioning Illuminati would validate centuries of conspiracy theories and force the public to question the legitimacy of modern institutions. If definitively debunked, exposing the Illuminati as purely mythological could reduce their symbolic power, but it's likely that new conspiracies would replace it. Even with total debunking, belief systems built around the Illuminati would survive in some form, as people often reinterpret evidence to fit their worldview. The Illuminati as a cultural archetype. Whether or not they exist, the Illuminati have transcended their origins to become a cultural archetype, a metaphor for hidden power and manipulation, a storytelling device for exploring themes of corruption, secrecy, and rebellion, a symbol of ultimate control, embodying humanity's deepest anxieties about freedom and autonomy. In that sense, the Illuminati may never truly die. As long as people search for meaning in chaos, and as long as global events feel too complex to be random, the idea of a hidden order pulling the strings will remain appealing. Final reflections. The real Bavarian Illuminati lasted less than a decade, but the mythical Illuminati, a shadowy elite manipulating the world, has lived for more than 2 centuries. It thrives in the space between fact and speculation, fed by distrust, fear, and cultural storytelling. Perhaps that is the most powerful truth about the Illuminati. It doesn't matter whether they still exist. What matters is that people believe they do. In a world filled with uncertainty, the Illuminati offers a simple, if terrifying, answer to the question, who really controls the world? And that is why this legend, whether grounded in reality or built entirely from imagination, will likely endure far into the future.